Hello and welcome to the Long Island weather update. It's about 10 o'clock on January 30th, another gloomy day, and you hear me just sounding like I'm a little out of breath. I'm having a little bit of a panic attack, and I'm going to try to get through it. Just coming back to this area, just seeing how bad things are. Anyway, I'm going to talk about that in another video. We'll talk about the weather update, you know. So obviously we're socked in with clouds, and we even have some ocean effect. Believe it or not, ocean effect showers and snow showers in parts of the Jersey Shore. Actually, it looks like, and I don't know if this is rain or snow. It's showing it up as mixed, but I felt even a little bit of a flurry here. We'll get to it, show you what's going on at Seaside Heights. You can see the ground is wet, but I don't see any flakes. I don't see any flakes at all. I can rewind this a little bit and see if there are any flakes. I think it was mainly just maybe a mix of rain. I'm not seeing any flakes on this camera. So maybe a mix of rain and wet snow falling over there. I'll show you the radar right now. We'll show this to you here, and you see again a little bit of that. Interesting, very interesting. It's ocean effect, believe it or not, because we got an east-southeasterly wind over the relatively warm waters, and we've got this maritime polar air mass over us. So that's what's causing. Go to the Weather Prediction Center here and look at the map. You'll see we're in a maritime polar air mass, east wind. So that's why we got all this cloud cover and moisture around. Pretty much been socked in all day today with the clouds. Again, it's very depressing. We've gone now over a week with no sun. This is what the sky looked like today. Slate gray. Just kind of maybe a few breaks of blue there, but very few small breaks. Mostly cloudy. This is what it looked like at Argyle Lake in the paradise of Babylon. So let's look at our current conditions right now. And 34 degrees at Islip right now. Just overcast conditions being reported. But if we go to some of these stations along the Jersey Shore, they may be reporting. Miller Air Park is reporting light rain. So apparently they're having light rain. Not cold enough for snow. So, but some of it could be a little light rain mixed with snow, perhaps. But mostly just rain. And then it's just a boring slate gray day today. It highs in the upper 30s across Long Island. And in New Jersey, it was a little warmer. 40 degrees there for highs and lows. We're in the mid-30s, and the other thing to make a point of is that we haven't been below freezing in a number of days. In fact, let's go back to the station plot at Islip, and just very unusual in January. We're going to look and see when's the last time Islip was below freezing. And you can see the winds were pretty much east all day today. I'm scrolling back. I don't think Islip's been below freezing for a number of days now. So after spending a period of days below freezing, now we can't even get below freezing at night. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I'm scrolling all the way back here to January 27th, and we haven't been below freezing at all at Islip. So, yeah, it's definitely been way warmer than it should be, for sure. So let's go to the models. Actually, before we do that, let's go to our statistics for the day, our climate statistics. Islip. So high was 37, low was 34. 3 degrees between the high and the low. I mean, that's such little diurnal range. So the high was 2 degrees below normal, but the low was 10 degrees above normal. That puts us 5 degrees above normal for the day at Islip. Central Park got up to 38. Its low was 35. Once again, 3 degrees separating the high and the low. And Central Park was 3 degrees above normal for the day. So, yeah. And look at this. Almost 12 inches, a foot of rain since December 1st at Central Park. Going back to Islip. Since December 1st, they've had 15.88 inches of rain at Islip. That's incredible. That's got to be a record. All right, so let's pull out the cone. Let's pull out our satellite image here a little bit to the CONUS view here. You can see we're just socked in with clouds and the cyclonic flow. You can see the Midwest and the Southwest, sunshine, Northern California, and into that's where the next low is coming in. But other than that, we're still stuck in these clouds, and it's just so dreary. And it's not really going to get any better until we get toward the weekend, unfortunately. So looking at the models here, you see we got that Maritime Polar high, and that stays in place for tomorrow. There's like a weak area of low pressure diving down that's going to go right offshore. Thursday, we have more of a west wind takeover as this high over the southwest takes over. That might give us a little more sun, perhaps, on Thursday, mixed with high clouds. And then Friday, overnight, we have this cold front come through that might bring a shower or two. And then we'll have colder air for the weekend, though it won't be Arctic air. Originally, it looked like it was going to be Arctic air, but it's not. Here comes a high pressure building in for the weekend, and this low is suppressed to the south, well to the south, at least with this high pressure in this position. And this low kind of just sitting offshore like this. It might even gain tropical characteristics. We should have a nice stretch of some sunshine to make up for this, which we so desperately need. So let's go to the HRRR, and we'll just run this through tomorrow. And again, I don't think we'll see the same ocean effect, but we might still see it a little bit along the Jersey Shore tomorrow. Not quite as prevalent as today. And then for Thursday, we're dry as well. And you can see it's just a slight chance of precipitation overnight, Thursday night into Friday. Very slight chance. So let's look at our dew points and wind flow here. And honestly, I think we can just go to the GFS at this point. I don't think there's any real reason to use the HRRR. So we'll just go to the GFS. Dew points and wind flow. Still staying with that easterly wind tomorrow. You can see that. And it actually comes back to northeast a little bit. And as we get toward the evening, it becomes southeast and then west. And then we get a west-southwest flow on Thursday, which, again, the air is still dry, but it will bring in warmer air. And then here we go on Friday with the cold front arriving and the north winds taking over. Though you'll see the core of the cold air really just stays well up to the north. We have north winds on Saturday and north winds on Sunday. Northwest wind, and then as we get toward Monday, the winds turn a little more northeasterly with that low passing to the south, and we're going to be in a prolonged northeasterly flow next week, as you can see, with that system off to the south, and that could cause some coastal concerns, perhaps. We're going to have to watch for that as well. All right, so now we're looking at the dew points, and let's go look at our air temperatures. And you'll see the weekend, we were originally thinking it was going to be a very chilly weekend, but now it's just going to be seasonable. But at least it'll be sunny. So tomorrow, maybe a tad warmer with highs around 40 degrees. Still lows in the mid-30s at night. And then as we get toward Thursday, you'll see it gets warmer, mid to upper 40s on Long Island, and probably near 50 or low 50s in New Jersey. And then as we make it toward Friday, you can see the temperatures kind of in the mid to upper 40s, and then it drops Friday night. We finally drop below freezing Friday night, probably into the upper 20s. And then for Saturday, highs generally in the mid to upper 30s to around 40, so 35 to 40 degrees, which is pretty much close to normal, so not really below normal at all. It won't even drop below freezing that much at night with that wind. And then by Sunday, we already start to moderate a little, highs around 40, and then kind of just stay in that highs around 40 for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, going into next week here a little bit, showing you that it does moderate as we get toward Thursday and Friday. You start seeing the temperatures warm up again. So let's look at the skies. I guess we can look at the soundings first. I'll show you. I mean, it's obviously we're going to have plenty of clouds around. I'll show you the sounding. You can see plenty of clouds. We look at this sounding here for Wednesday, but when we move this over to Thursday, we might have a little bit of a break in the low cloud, but then we're going to have a lot of high clouds. So, yeah, we're going to have to wait until we get toward the weekend. So, let's go to the skies right now, and you'll see. So this is the, maybe a few breaks tomorrow, maybe a few more breaks on Thursday, but we're going to have to wait until the weekend. And once we get towards Saturday, I think that's when we'll start seeing some more sunshine. And Sunday, you can seeing a lot less cloud cover across the area. And then we get into a nice pattern where that high just wedges itself in, and we could have a couple of days of clear skies with the clouds from that storm system maybe just off to the south. We'll have to see what happens. It's kind of hard to say right now how far north those clouds will make it. So that storm system is pretty interesting. I'm going to talk about that a little more as well. So let's look at the origin. Will be the next sky model, which is a higher resolution sky model that I like to use. And you'll see, obviously, plenty of clouds. So it looks like it's trying to have a break in the middle of the day. Maybe we'll get lucky. We'll have a midday break for a little bit before the clouds come back. And then for Thursday, it looks like it's showing more in the way of sunshine, but there'll definitely probably be a decent amount of high clouds around. But at least maybe we'll see a little more sunshine. And then Friday, starting off with clouds, and probably going to still have plenty of clouds around during the day. This only goes up to Friday night on the RGM. So let's take a look at a few more models here, and I want to go to the Event 2 Sky model here. And I think it's Event 2 Sky, or will we use windy.com? No, we can use the Event 2 Sky. Okay, so I'm going to just visualize this storm that we're going to have, because it's going to be highly unusual, because the storm is pushed so far south by the southern branch of the jet stream that it might take on some tropical characteristics. So this is the storm right here. Let's go to wind speed here, and wind gusts, and you can see there will be wind gusts offshore with this. We'll be on the outer periphery of this, but I'm kind of watching this because there's going to be a pressure gradient between this storm and the high to the north that's going to cause the winds to ramp up, particularly in the Carolinas. You can see here that this storm here is just going to kind of be sitting here, at least according to the GFS. And then we'll have to see what happens if it does wind up gaining some tropical characteristics or not. It's always possible. It's always a possibility. I switch to the automatic, which is the icon. It's usually the icon. This is the icon. Actually, let me go back to tropical tidbits for a moment, so we can look at some of the other models and how they handle it. All right, we don't have enough of that 0Z, and we can use the 12Z icon run. So those are the 12Z icon run. You can see for that first storm there, kind of pushed to the south. This second one is interesting. It actually looks like it tries to form a second low a little closer. This is the icon model. So this will definitely throw a little more clouds our way, but keeps the precipitation offshore. But, sometimes sometimes it might wind up being further north than forecast. So we're still not, I wouldn't say we're out of the woods with this storm yet for the weekend. But it's not really showing a whole lot of snow with this. But some parts of the mid-Atlantic might wind up getting some snow from this. But this is the icon here. That's what the icon does right there. And you can see it's a little different. Now, let's go look at the European. And we'll go to the 12Z European on this. So you can see here that it really gets suppressed. The Euro is really keeping that thing far south. Look at that. That's incredible. It's actually pushing it southeast. I've never seen anything like that before. This is what happens when your jet stream's all messed up. That's absolutely nuts. So that's what the European is doing with it. All right, so let's go back to Event 2 Sky. And we're looking at the icon. Actually, no, we're still looking at the automatic. Okay, so it's still using the GFS. I guess that far out it uses the GFS and not the icon. So, but let's talk about the waves. And for that, I'm going to go to the windy.com model, which does use the European model. So we can look at this storm a little more. Actually, not yet. This doesn't do waves, I don't think. No, it doesn't. So, yeah, we'll have to go to windy.com. I mean, Tropical Tidbits does it, but the problem with Windy is it only gives me 5 days. After that, they want you to pay. So this is not really going to help us too much, I don't think. You can see it's not going to be all that cold this weekend. Sunday it's showing 40s. It's not going to be all that cold. But let me go back to Tidbits. I guess we're going to have to do that, because we can't get that on Tidbits. And talk about the fact that this prolonged easterly could cause some coastal issues. We can do this. Significant wave height. All right, let's move this along here. It looks like it's staying so far. It's staying, yeah, you can see what happens. As we get toward the middle of next week, you can see what's going to happen here. And definitely have some elevated surf. That's not only using this model because it's so low resolution. Let's see if the Euro has a better resolution on this. This is the European model. Doesn't go as far out, but we're going to have to watch for this. So we will have to watch that prolonged easterly flow. I do have concerns, especially on the Jersey Shore and maybe even parts of the South Shore, that we're going to see some more coastal flooding next week. But there is at least an end in sight to this cloudy gloom. Just going to hang on for a few more days, and we get out of it, even though I don't really see any really bitter cold or snow in sight so far. So I think that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather update. Have a good night.